Immigration is a constant conversation here in the UK, but my question today is how do we attract high-level immigrants to better the UK? Julia Willemyns has the answer. I'm Kaylem, and this is The Memo. Julia, thank you very much for joining me on The Memo. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming in. So you're the co-founder of British Progress. Can you just explain what you do?
So the Centre for British Progress is a think tank. We focus on economic growth and science and tech progress, so emerging technology broadly. Yeah. Think tanks are normally non-profit organizations that do research into policy areas and then advocate or educate people on the research that they've done. They can be pretty academic, or they can be kind of forward-facing and more campaigny. I would say we're somewhere in the middle. And some of them are more political, others are more issue-based. We're non-partisan. We do think a lot about being useful to government because we actually want our research to be implemented. Yeah. But we don't actually go out and campaign for particular political parties. And
talking about being useful for the government, you wrote a fantastic paper titled 4 Steps to Make an Exceptional Talent Route to Work in Britain. Just talk to me about that paper. We want to see more immigrants coming to the UK, high-level ones.
Yeah, so I basically believe in people. My main thesis is that talent is at the root of all or a lot of the progress we see around the world. So let's take sort of a very prosaic example. Everyone's ill. I don't know if you're ill. I'm like really afraid I'm going to be falling ill.
Oh my gosh.
I'm fine. I'm fine right now. But this flu season's been really tough on the NHS. It's been tough on productivity at work. But everything would be so much worse if it weren't for 3 British inventions. So we had John Snow that basically created epidemiology and changed sanitation. We had Fleming and antibiotics, and we also had vaccines invented here. Now, if it weren't for those 3 people, the flu season would be far more deadly. Basically, my thesis is that we should, like we have throughout history, ensure that these kinds of people are discovering and building these kinds of things in the UK. And I think that has incredible advantages for the country and for the people who live here, but also for the world. So my main thesis is, how do we make sure that the next generation of talent wants to stay in the UK and come to the UK and build their amazing companies or their scientific discoveries here? And that's why I'm really focused on the talent theory of everything. And this is one part of that larger story. How do we get exceptional people, really talented immigrants to come to the UK?
And how is there a way that we can, create British-born, homegrown talent? How do we do that?
Yeah, so...
Because it's all good having people come from abroad, but what does that say to the kid that's in Manchester that wants to be the next, Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be from abroad?
So I think you can do both. There's no reason why you wouldn't want to do one and not the other. And I actually do think that these two things are complementary, right? Let's say you take a top scientific researcher from China, and they want to come to University of Manchester to do some research into, I don't know, let's say physics, right? And your homegrown talent then is going to go to school and then university. And if they can learn from that top scientific researcher from China, they're going to have an advantage when it comes to their university degree education that they wouldn't have otherwise. But I do think education policy is really important. Another thing that I'm really excited about is the notion of doing lots of testing to find sort of undiscovered geniuses at home as well. And I think that early years intervention is really important. We don't do much on education policy, but it is an area I'm really interested in, and watch this space. Maybe we'll do more.
And there's a problem with the UK government being able to get high talented people into the UK. We have a scheme, but we're really bad at promoting it. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we have 2 visa pathways that I think are particularly good at bringing top talent into the country. So one's the Global Talent Visa. That's for leaders in science, arts, and academia. And the other one is the high potential individual visa. That one's actually really special.
Yeah.
Not many countries around the world have this. Basically, if you graduate from a top 100 university, you automatically get the right to come to the UK for 2
fantastic.
years.
Yeah.
And it's a temporary visa. Then you have to go on to another visa, but it gives you that flexibility for 2 years. The problem is that most people don't know about these visas, and we don't really promote them. We have this ugly government website that's quite confusing, and most of the people who do find out about this visa hear about it through word of mouth. We have evidence that promoting it would work at attracting exactly the right people that we want to come into the country. And it's like pretty weird that we have this evidence. Basically, what happened was Rishi Sunak went on a podcast called
Much like mine.
Yes,
No.
much like yours. And talked about this visa. A clip went viral, and you saw through Google search results that there was a huge spike in people searching for it. We estimate that maybe up to 25% of the people that have come into the country using the high potential individual visa might have actually seen that one clip, and that's the reason why they found it. So I think we could be doing so much more to be promoting these visas. I don't want to change the entry requirements. I don't think we should be watering it
You're
down.
not focusing on that. You're just focusing
I'm
on
just
getting them in.
focusing, how do we make it more attractive for the top talent? And I don't think we need to be watering it down at all.
How do we, as you said, there's this website. It's pretty ugly. How do we make it better? How do we advertise ourselves as a place to come, bring your talent, bring your creativity? Let's build this country together.
Yeah, so I think one of the things you could be doing is just make the website prettier and more intuitive, right? Like that's pretty low-hanging fruit.
Hey everybody, I'm Kaylem Shepherd. Thank you very much for watching the podcast. Please just take a second to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure it's available on your podcast app. That can be Spotify, it can be Apple. The Memo with me, Kaylem Shepherd, wherever you get your podcast. Once again, thank you for watching.
You could also be using geo-targeted ads online. So actually sending out Google ads or TikTok ads or Facebook ads to people that would be would qualify for these visa categories. You also could be doing lots more with British embassies around the world. It's kind of their job to make the UK look good, and I think they should be making it look good for graduates of top universities
Peter
around
Manderson
the
did
world.
a fantastic job at that.
No comment.
That's okay, on.
Yeah, no, and they're like really interesting, creative things you could do, like sending personalized letters to the top graduates from Harvard or Yale and saying, we have this scheme, you could come to the UK. Now, I don't want to be unrealistic here. There are many reasons why people move to a new country, and visa policy is only one of them. Things like tax policy, the weather, quality of life.
Nobody wants to come to England then.
All these things matter. And on some of those, we're doing better than on others. But ultimately, I think with visas, you have one area where we can arbitrage, especially as one of the other biggest hotspots for top talent. The US is closing down and being less attractive.
Is that
to
because of the
immigrants.
Trump administration?
Yes, and what's interesting about the Trump administration policy changes is that they do impact the top talent as well. It's not just about reducing immigration when it comes to lower skilled or illegal immigrants. There have been restrictions that would affect some of the top talent that really we want and they should want as well.
So where do the top talent end up going? What countries are winning this?
So the US is the primary winner, even with all of these restrictions still. Countries like Canada, Switzerland, Australia, France, Germany also do pretty well. Actually, it's interesting and a bit sad, but we used to be pretty consistently the second destination or third sometimes for top talent, and we've actually fallen down to the fifth destination. Again,
Why is that?
That's not just visa policy. I'm sure that there are some changes we've made that might be putting people away. That's mostly due to our economic situation and probably the high taxes going up, and maybe other factors as well that are happening globally that aren't in our control. And you can't fix all of that all at once. I think what we're trying to do with the Centre for British Progress is make the economic growth story go a little bit better, which should improve things. But in the meantime, you can help get top talent through some of these visa changes as well.
Would you say Rishi Sunak was the perfect prime minister to kind of push this forward?
You mean the high potential?
High potential, high growth.
Well,
because he's tech bro, Silicon Valley kind of guy. He wanted all that kind of stuff.
Yes, well...
I know you're not political.
The high potential individual visa was created by his government. We haven't grown since 2008. We're not growing right now. Neither the Tories nor Labour have delivered growth. And I would love to see literally anyone get this economy to start growing again. But I don't think that's a party political point. Everyone has failed since 2008.
Yeah. And what can we do to make our country better when it comes to growth? What would you like to see happen?
So planning changes is a big one. Lots changes to our energy system as well. So we have some of the most expensive energy in Europe and some of the most expensive energy in any developed country in the world. And that's bringing us back when it comes to our manufacturing and industry. We also have more restrictions on things like our labour markets coming in, which I think could make unemployment worse. And there are some innovations in regulation that could improve our position when it comes to high growth sectors. And I don't want to be too negative. I think that there are many things
These are important conversations to have.
And there are many things that many of the governments have done that have been positive. We, for example, have some really good forward-facing regulation when it comes to alternative proteins, so lab-grown meat. Lots of other countries are shutting down because of protectionist lobbies. I think Florida actually has outlawed it, whereas we've been far more embracing. So I'd love to see more of that as well when it comes to emerging technology.
So the paper that you wrote, what would you like the government to do with it?
Implement it, ideally. And the thing is, a lot of none of the stuff I've recommended needs to be put through Parliament. It's actually really easy. A minister could just decide to do this with their department, and with one exception, which is my second recommendation, which is to make time on temporary visas, so on visas like the high potential individual visa, count towards settlement only where people are contributing economically. So we have this weird kink in our system where someone might come on the high potential individual visa and make 100K. This is realistic because actually 12% of the people on this visa make 75K plus. So let's say you're making 100K, you're contributing 30K to taxes. None of the time on that visa will count towards settlement, which doesn't feel, I'm not going to talk about fairness, but it doesn't feel consistent because there are people on other visa categories where they're not making that much money and not contributing very much to the state at all, where the time they've spent in the country does lead to settlement. I think we should be having productive people embraced, and I think we should be making making settlement decisions based on economic contribution.
Julia, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you coming on the Memo.
Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, I'm Kaylem Shepherd. Thank you very much for watching the podcast. Please just take a second to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure it's available on your podcast app. That can be Spotify, it can be Apple. The Memo with me, Kaylem Shepherd, wherever you get your podcast. Once again, thank you for watching.